grade students through completed 12th grade students. Please call 365-2884 to register. The George Kuhn Public Library in Princeton will hold Craft Night the second Thursday of the month. The program is open to all ages with the next Craft Night on June 13th. The cost is $5 per person. To register, call 365-2884. Get the kids in the kitchen this summer and kick it off with Baking Boot Camp at Caldwell County Extension Office Monday and Tuesday, June 17th and 18th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. Children 6th through 8th grade will learn and practice basic baking skills they can take home and use to bake for the family. Reservations are available and space is limited, so call today 270-365-2787. Fredonia First Baptist Church Free Meal for All Community Fellowship will be held Thursday, June 20th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the ballpark in Fredonia. Everyone is welcome and the meal is free. Green Grove Baptist Church in Providence invites everyone to join them for the Old Paths in concert on Friday, June 21st at 6:30 p.m. Admission is free and a love offering will be taken. Green Grove is located on 33 Green Road in Providence. For more information, contact Brother Wesley Curtis at 270-625-3512. The First Baptist Church Clothing Room will be open the fourth Tuesday of every month from 8:30 to 10:30, with the next opening June 25th. There will be a large selection of clothing for women, men, and children. Use the Cave Street entrance door. First Baptist Church is located at 300 West Main Street in Princeton. Get ready for Barn Bash featuring Cueva, Blaine Howard, and special guest Cassidy Knight, Friday, June 28th at 7 p.m. at the Western Kentucky State Fair in the Convention Center. Doors open at 6:30 with showtime at 7:30. The concert is free with your paid gate admission and includes door prizes and surprises throughout the night. Donations received during the concert will benefit Pennaroyal Hospice, living to the fullest. Grab your buddies. The Princeton Rotary Club and Princeton Caldwell County Chamber of Commerce tees off its 4-person golf scramble on Friday, July 12th. Registration is at 11 a.m. with tee time at 11:30. Prizes for first and second place teams and prizes per hole. Entry includes a sack lunch, skirt, and mulligan per player. Registration is open now with the deadline on July 1st.
Brantley Furniture has been a mainstay in Princeton for many years. Jeannie, Megan, and the staff invite you to shop with them for all your home furniture and decor needs. They feature a large selection of living room, dining room, and bedroom furniture and mattresses. Their accent pieces and accessories are just phenomenal. They also carry baby furniture. For personal service and great selection, visit Brantley Furniture in historic downtown Princeton. Like them on Facebook and watch for weekly specials.
Have you seen the new Big John's barbecue food truck? It's kind of hard to miss. It's big and it's green. John and Crystal are so excited to continue to grow. John just completed the University of Tennessee Good Science Department certification, committed to serve you with delicious, safe food. And they were voted best food truck in the best of Western Kentucky, too. Big John's Barbecue, open Thursday through Saturday on South Jefferson Street. Lunch delivery available. Get details on Facebook. Big John's Barbecue.
Hepatitis A has been getting a lot of publicity recently, but did you know that you can do something about your health protection against it? Protect yourself from hepatitis A and stop by Community Medical Clinic in Princeton, Hopkinsville, or Oak Grove for your hepatitis A vaccine shot today. Community Medical Clinic is committed to not only taking care of you when you're ill, but also in keeping you and your family healthy and strong throughout the year. To learn more, call them today at 270-365-0227 to make an appointment. Walk-ins are also welcome.
At Kentucky Homes Realty, real estate is their life, and sold is their favorite word. Kelly Mitchell, principal broker and owner, invites you to contact her office if you're looking to buy a home. They've teamed up with Movement Mortgage to provide a way for you to have the home of your dreams. Go to kyhomes247.com and find out exactly how much home you can afford. It takes less than 60 seconds to get the ball rolling.
This is Kelly Mitchell with Kentucky Homes Realty. Contact me and let's make this dream of yours a reality.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Good morning, 812 with Tess and Ty on Coffee Talk. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
We've got a room full, and I like it that way. Stephanie Boaz, I'm going to pick on you first.
Let's do it.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, I can't. I'm really picking on her because now she can't say anything. Can do whatever I want, and she can't come back. How about that? No. You just, everybody. Now.
Crank them all.
I'll turn
How
them
about
all.
now?
Hey.
I turned them all on. Eventually, I'll figure out which one is you. But, of course, Stephanie Bose is with us, and you do Christian life coaching, correct?
That is correct. I'm located in Marion, right next to Unity Missionary Baptist Church. I am in the Mission House, and I have my office inside there.
Well, I will tell you, if there was ever a person that needed to be coached in life, it's me.
Well, we all need it occasionally.
Evidently, this morning it's been all about food for some reason. But I think a lot of people think about life coaching and that sort of thing, that it's all sad stuff and it's all bad stuff. But that's not true, right? I mean, a lot of people just have decisions in their life that they need to make. They need to know whether to yin or to yang.
Exactly.
Need a little help.
Yeah, and what I do is I'm there to help that person to find the direction in which they need to go. I'm like, I'm a coach. I tell you the positive way if you're going the negative way, but it's up to the person to do what they think is right. I'm just there to guide.
And now you don't sit there with a whole list of answers for everybody.
No.
It's not your job to answer the question. It's your job to help them find their answer, right?
Exactly. It's up to them to make the choices in their life. All I do is sit there and listen and guide them in the right direction. My ministry is biblical based, of course, because I am a Christian life coach. And I've been doing this for a little over 5 years. So, I mean, it's touching, emotional, but yet fulfilling.
So what about if somebody just needs, when we're kids and we're in sports and that sort of thing, it can really be rough on a kid's confidence, and as an adult, when you're in the workplace, again, it can be really rough on an adult's confidence and can go from excitement to depression really quick. So what do we do to help each other out, to boost our friends, and other than just saying, I'm praying for you, what else can we do?
The main thing that, I tell my clients is, you need somebody just to listen. There's times when adults, we keep everything buried deep down inside and we don't want to disclose any private things to anyone. But, there comes a time when you have to trust in someone and, let all of that out, because it's going to lead to something greater if you don't.
Well, if you don't let it out, it's coming out eventually.
Right? And it may come out in a bad way. So, if you have that individual, that person in church, that neighbor next door, if you're not comfortable coming into a setting with a Christian life coach, everybody needs somebody. And that is one thing that I've always told my clients is, if I'm not helping you find the direction you need to go, let's find you someone that can help you find yourself.
I guarantee that there's somebody that you could, we talked to mine earlier, that's one of my buddies and my friends, and everybody needs that. But sometimes it's not easy to find. And if they don't have that person in their life, that's where you come in.
Absolutely.
We might not have the papas and the grannies that give us sage advice, and that's where you come in.
Exactly. People put that stigma on going to a counselor or going to a therapist, and people don't want their friends to know that they're seeing someone, and we should not belittle people that are seeking out help. They're trying to better themselves, and that's important. If we're not bettering ourselves, what are we doing? We're putting ourselves down.
Well, and a lot of times perception is reality. And in perception, in a lot of people's mind, they go into an office, they lay down on a couch, and, someone says, okay, now tell me how you feel. Well, how do you feel about that? Is that the way that it all is?
Not really, no.
What?
I don't do that. Yeah, I had a client stop in the other day, and of course, my office setting, it's very cozy. I have 2 high wingback chairs. I have a little love seat, and he had a seat in the chair, and he looked at me, he says, do I have to lay on the couch?
See?
I said, no. I said, we're not going that far. But if you need to lay down, it's there. But no, I don't do that. I'm right up next with them, there to hold their hand them the tissues, whatever they need.
Well, if I lay down, I'd be asleep,
yeah,
girl.
That would be me too.
You'd be talking to my eyelids because...
Me too.
So, what areas in life do you cover? What are the most popular things that people come or need to come that you find for your services?
I do anger management, which is a big thing. I do domestic violence for the victims. Not to be construed, I do not do batterers intervention, which is the offenders. That is not my cup of tea. I help the victims that have been abused. I also do addiction support. I received my certification in addiction and recovery just last year. I help with youth, family, and marriage support and parenting through DCBS. Like if a child is displaced from the parent, then the parent requires to have counseling or services, and I help do that as well. But I've worked with the courts for several years and have been accepted through the courts doing that. But there's just, a lot of different things you can do with people. I mean, that's not the only thing. I mean, there's a lot of other avenues out there. You've got grief, codependency, depression.
Parents of special needs. You and I talk about that a lot because, of course, I have a son that's special needs. And there's sometimes that as a mom or a dad, you just need a break and somebody to listen.
Absolutely.
Somebody that's not going to judge you, because there's a lot of times, and caregivers and people that are trying to help others that are struggling with addiction, they need help as well.
Exactly. And that's something else that I also do, and not only the addiction part of it, is, our youth today, it's not like when we were kids. Everything's a lot different. They have to endure a lot more stress and a lot more problems than what we dealt with. And so, I'm there to help them deal with their problems and let them vent in order to feel better about themselves. So it's a big thing.
Well, and you and I made it off the bus. So, if back in the day, if we could, we made it through that scenario.
That's pretty rough.
She has a lot of coping mechanisms, I'll tell you.
Steph, 5 years ago, when you decided to do this, what was it that you said you got touched and wanted to touch others and help people?
I'm going to say it was my mother. My mother was a hard worker all through her life. I cannot remember a day that my mom was not working 2 or 3 jobs. And if somebody called and they needed her help, she was always there. So she instilled in me that value of, even though you've got 15 things on your plate, there may be that one person out there that needs you the most. You've got to reach out to them. So that's what I guess touched me the most is my mom, and she pushed me in that direction. And for that, I'm grateful. I spend a lot of nights after I get off from my regular job. There's some nights I don't get home till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I'm thankful that I have a loving family that's understanding as well, because it does take a lot of time.
Well, life doesn't happen on a time clock.
Absolutely not.
And most of the time, it's not, convenient 1 o'clock in the afternoon when something is going to go awry.
No, I was getting text messages yesterday morning from a client because she was having some issues at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I had just woke up, so we was talking back and forth. That's one thing that I pride myself in, is that I'm always reachable. If I don't answer my phone, you leave me a message, and I'm going to call you back within a very short amount of time. Send me a text or whatever. I'm on top of that for most of the time, unless I'm super busy. But I always get back to my clients.
Make sure that they do know where to get a hold of you at, and all the different ways they can get a hold of you, because I know you're available online as well.
I am. I have a Facebook page. It's Where New Beginnings Start. My number that you can reach me at is 270-625-8211. I text, however, email. My email address is on my Facebook page if you want to send an email. I call, leave me a message, and I will call you back.
Now, there are times when they call you, or when they maybe themselves are not in a position where they can call right this moment, but there's something going on right in front of them that, they do. What do they do to make the situation bearable until they can get to you for you to help them? Is it meditation? Is it, what can they do to make a stressful situation a little easier to handle?
One thing that I always tell my clients when I'm working with them, think about what you're either going to say or do before you react. Take a couple seconds. Think about the question you're going to ask, or think about that reaction that's getting ready to come out. Because if you don't, it's going to possibly turn into a bad scenario. But the main thing is take a deep breath, think about the questions. How do I need to approach this in a positive manner? And then go forward. But, the main thing is think before you react. The filter, you got to make sure that you have a big filter, huh? And it's not easy. Especially if you've dealt with, a lot of anger issues. Most people are very quick to let it go, and it's hard. It's a learning thing. We have to learn to unlearn what we've what we've learned.
But we have to be open-minded.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I admit that I don't know everything, Ty. You're only going to hear me say that once. So, I mean, enjoy it while it lasts. But I am wrong once in a while.
Yeah.
But, it's a rare occasion.
To
but,
us from time to time.
But when it does happen, those are some of the things that can really floor you.
Absolutely.
In meditation, I've always heard, you mentioned holding, just kind of breathing and thinking about that for a second. I've heard count to 10.
Yeah.
Is 10 enough?
Sometimes it's not. No, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes 10 seconds is not enough to think and just chill for a second. Sometimes you have to just walk out of the whole situation. Take a walk. Take a breath. Leave the situation that you're in. Come back to it when you're clear-headed. And I think that's a lot of the problems with when people get into situations. They don't think before they react.
Steph, explain to us a little bit. You've touched on it, I think, the difference between coaching and therapy.
Okay, with coaching, I am there to help you with the decisions that you want to make. Therapy is where someone sits there, you tell them all your problems, and then they say, okay, well, we're going to do this, 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 and this, and here's your medication.
Okay.
Therapists are more, I guess you'd say, guarded by boards, state boards, so forth and so on. And they don't talk about Christianity. They don't use biblical aspects of therapies. I do. My coaching facility is based on Christian. We utilize the Bible. We utilize the passages to help them to get a better understanding of life.
Well, now, what if somebody is a different denomination?
Then we're going to go to that denomination, and we're going to look in their type of materials, and we're going to find them the way to cope. I'm very open to it. I mean, we're not all Baptists, Catholics, Pentecost. We all have different denominations. I'm willing to help you find your way on your religion if that need arises.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
That needs to be on a coffee mug.
That's a lot to put on a coffee mug.
That's a lot, but it would be pretty good.
Yep.
Well, we thank you for coming in. We sure appreciate it.
I appreciate
You're
you
always
calling.
good, full of information, and you should have seen her eyeballs on that one. No, you're always full of information, and we appreciate that.
I appreciate
because
your
that's
time.
one of the first things that sometimes. I don't know how to shut up sometimes. What about you?
We struggle with that in this business.
Sometimes we struggle with that. Give us those phone numbers one more time before you leave.
270-625-8211.
All right, 8:25 on
Thanks,
Coffee
Steph.
Talk.
Thank you.
We are going to change gears a little bit. We've got Carrie Jane sitting in here, and we're going to move over to the pet side of things and see what we can do over there. It's WPKY.
Nice meeting. Here's a real post from a real Chick-fil-A fan. Katie writes,
Chick-fil-A, please tell me you are bringing back the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich this summer. I've been dreaming about it since last summer.
good news, Katie. It's back. How does that make you feel?
I'm so happy. If I could do a cartwheel, I'd be doing them right now.
Thanks, Katie. Try one for yourself at your nearest Chick-fil-A. Real Chick-fil-A customers paid for their testimonial.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Like, why do I have to pay a full gym membership when I don't even use all the equipment? Like the rowing machine. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of manual lake travel these days.
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
WPKY.
Are you struggling to afford health care or prescriptions? Let Health First help you. Whether you're insured, uninsured, or underinsured, you will still be cared for at Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office for more information at 365-9455. Walk-ins are welcome. 1100 South Jefferson Street, Princeton. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
This is Mallory Hancock Lawrence, and we love our Caldwell and Lyon County friends. We invite you to come to Cadiz anytime you can to shop with us, and we're making it even easier for you. Whether you work in Cadiz or just come to town for a visit, stop in and shop with us. But if you're in a hurry, you can pre-order your groceries at Hancock'sNeighborhoodMarket.com. It's so easy and convenient. Of course, we want to see your smiling face anytime we can, but if you're in a hurry, Hancock'sNeighborhoodMarket.com is the way to go. Hancock's Neighborhood Market, Cadiz.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
Hey guys, Heidi with Capitol Cinemas, your local Princeton movie theater with your weekday lineup. Cinema 1, Secret Life of Pets, 1 hour and 35 minutes, rated PG. Cinema 2, X-Men Dark Phoenix, 2 hours, rated PG-13. Cinema 3, Godzilla King of Monsters, 2 hours, 15 minutes, rated PG-13. All movies show Monday through Thursday at 6:30. Your free movie this weekend, Saturday, June 15th, is Despicable Me 3. This week's star sponsors for the free movies are Woodman of the World, ABC Finance, Woodall Agency, Black Patch Grill, WPKY, Blooms by Brook, Todd Wetzel Attorney, Carousel Laundromat, Trice Hughes, Kathy's Confections, Thurman and Campbell, Coleman Shoes, Times Leader, Vance Cook Attorney, Taco John's, Supreme Court Justice Bill Cunningham, Stowett Storage, Judge Executive Larry Curling. Call during showtime hours at 270-365-0200 or visit us at capitalcinemas.net. Thanks for listening. See you at the show.
Here's a real post from a real Chick-fil-A fan. Katie writes,
Chick-fil-A, please tell me you are bringing back the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich this summer. I've been dreaming about it since last summer.
Good news, Katie. It's back. How does that make you feel?
I'm so happy. If I could do a cartwheel, I'd be doing them right now.
Thanks, Katie. Try one for yourself at your nearest Chick-fil-A. Real Chick-fil-A customers paid for their testimonial.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Like, why do I have to pay a full gym membership when I don't even use all the equipment? Like the rowing machine. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of manual lake travel these days.
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Increasing clouds throughout the day, a high near 77. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low around 56. Tomorrow, slight chance of showers in the afternoon, otherwise partly sunny, a high near 78. Thursday, sunny, high near 73. Your next best chance of rain coming on Saturday. Again, your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center calling for increasing clouds throughout the day today, a high near 76. It's 63 in Princeton.
Here we go.
There we go.
I'm telling you, I can't hit buttons today.
We can't.
Coffee Talk is on the air at 8:31, and now we've got Miss Carrie Janes in the house. Of course, she's been here this morning, but she's been there and listening. And we were talking about, of course, she's from Morning View Farms. So hi, good morning. And we were talking about the fact that animals are just, and it doesn't have to be horses. Of course, we're kind of partial to horses.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're not.
Dogs and cats work too.
Donkeys and horses.
Therapeutic.
And cows.
Do hermit crabs work?
Well, it depends on your feelings about hermit crabs.
Hermit crab therapy?
I guess that sounds awful.
No, I think they're very relaxing.
I don't know. So until you said it out loud, that just really killed it right there.
That's kind of my thing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about animal therapy, and that's something, because you're also a nurse outside of just dealing with animals. So, I mean, and that's something that you guys have seen in your work as a nurse, that animal therapy helps.
Yes, I worked in psych for 6 years, so we used animals on the unit. Of course, they were dogs. We didn't bring horses into the hospital, but yes, you could see just like if someone's having a bad day, someone's having anxiety, pacing the floor, You bring a dog on the unit, and it's just like the whole world stops. Everybody wants to pet the dog.
Right. Well, and you had even said, you'd made mention of, well, I didn't think about it, but some people are allergic, and even stuffed animals.
Yes, on our geriatric unit, we had fake dogs and cats that purred and breathed with, they were battery operated, but a lot of the elderly patients with dementia and Alzheimer's really, really enjoyed those.
Well, see, that's something that if you're a family member and a caregiver, and maybe you've got parents or someone that is elderly and they may not be able to be around the animals, that's something to think about. I've never really heard of that.
No, I've seen them, but, that's a great alternative.
And they're really not that expensive. I think you can get them on Amazon for like $30, $40, which is way cheaper than paying for a pet. A real pet.
You're and
then
kidding.
You don't have to worry about
their housebroken.
Yeah, they're housebroken. You have to worry about the Alzheimer patient forgetting to feed them.
Now that I think about it, that's better than a husband. They're housebroken.
There you go.
They're cheap to feed. No, in all seriousness, though, one of the reasons why I had her come in is because, we deal with a lot of this stuff during the summer. And, of course, we're always talking about the heat and what the heat does to the animals. And not just horses and not just cows and not, it's all of them across the board. The fresh water. Now, and it matters just as much about the freshness of the water as it does how much of the water, correct?
Yes. A lot of times I won't even, and you have to go with your situation at home, but like my pet's dog water, like the dog's, the cat's water, I don't even fill it all the way, because instead of filling a bucket that just sits there and gets warm and gets bug larvae in it, I might change that water out several times a day so that it stays fresh and cool. I try to put it, if it's for my cats that are outside, put it in a shady spot so the water stays cooler. My big dog has one of those kiddie pools, and I change that water out every day for her, so she can go in there and splash around. She has a double coat. She's an Altonian Shepherd, so she's 120 plus pounds.
Well, you have to think about, would you want to be out in the middle of the sunshine in a fur coat in June?
Right, exactly. And it's not just, and then also people need to realize too, some people leave their dogs out on patios. Concrete gets hot. Wood decking gets hot. Just be mindful, if your dog has to stay outside, or cat, make sure they have shade, a shade tree, a dog house.
Some sort of shelter always works good, yeah.
People think of just having shelter for your pets in the winter, but honestly, in the summer, they need somewhere to go to get out of that heat, out of the sun, beating down on them. Make sure that, their little paws aren't getting burnt on the concrete.
Well, that's a really, because they do. When you go on your walk, you say, well, I don't live out in the country. I don't have the big patios and stuff. But, they go out on walks. We see them walk up and down the sidewalk all the time. And, is there a way that you can protect their paws if you're out walking them?
There are booties that you can put on them. My dogs hate those.
You've fitted your dogs with booties?
Yes, my Tukey dog has her own set of Uggs.
Oh, wow.
You should see her horse's raincoat.
I bet.
Yeah, and then Jack's got his bumblebee fly sheet now too.
It's adorable. It's got these little bumblebees.
I'm
telling you, if you want to see something cute, she has a sweet girl named Good Golly Miss Molly, and she is the prettiest horse. Just go out and pet it. You talk about therapy and animal therapy for people. Horses have always been kind of an equine therapy, just to be around them and pet them and talk to them and brush them. It's something that a lot of people, is good for the nerves and good for the soul.
I have a lot more. As far as my lessons go, I give lessons to all types, from 3-year-olds to 83-year-olds is my oldest. But honestly, I really enjoy working with children with autism, with handicaps. It's fun to watch their faces glow just by the touch of a horse, or just, oh, those are cows. It's just so exciting just to see those cute little faces. But working with people with handicaps, it's enjoyable to see what a difference the animals make in their life. And we might do the barrel pattern the same way every single time they come out, but to them, they think they're running a barrel race.
That's right.
They don't realize it's just a lesson.
Well, and that confidence can bleed even into other things in their life.
The core strength, their memory. I mean, it's just amazing to watch them grow.
Well, and that's one thing with my son. Of course, he doesn't speak. He's nonverbal. But when we first started putting him on a horse, he couldn't sit up. We had to actually walk beside the horse and hold him up. Wow. Hey, the last couple of years, you put a lead line on the back of my saddle, and he's on his own horse in his own saddle. And, of course, he doesn't necessarily steer it by himself. But if you put a lead line on there, he doesn't need your help. He says, hey, back off. I'm a big boy.
Long way from where it started.
That's right. And it starts with people that are so patient like Carrie that can help you out. And that's something that everybody wants to ride a horse.
Right.
It's like the secret thing that everybody wants to do, right?
I have people that come out and, pay for a lesson, and all their child wants to do is brush that horse, lead that horse. I mean, some of them don't even get on, but it's just them being around them. I mean, you'll see a child who can't hardly walk take off with a lead line with that horse, and they're as straight as an arrow. I mean, it's amazing.
And you have plenty of opportunities for them to do those types of things as well.
Yes, I have all stages of horses, from, like I said, the little lead line type horse that'll just stand there all day, let you pet it, to horses that are trained in dressage up to second level and used to be old show jumpers.
Well, now, and, it goes beyond just, she doesn't only do special needs training. I mean, when it comes to showing and all of that, the showing and that sort of thing. You should see her in her big show get up. I mean, she can get all dressed up when she wants to be, boy. I'm telling you.
That's fancy and fine, too. But there's something about, what about for those of us that are a little skittish about horses? We love them. We love kind of being around them, but we haven't been on top. We haven't sat on them or just not familiar with them. What do you tell us that they kind of have those kind of feelings?
I just start talk to you about what the horse is like, about the parts of the horse. Just kind of let you hand you a brush, show you where to start brushing a horse on the shoulder, the neck area. Just allow you to you gradually get used to being around that horse. And with teaching lessons, I don't just put a kid on a horse or a person on a horse. They have to learn how to properly care for that horse. Picking feet, brushing them, leading them. I'll help them in the beginning, get them out of the pasture or the stall just to show them the right and the wrong way to do it. But then after that, after a few times that I'm comfortable with them, I allow them to do that. And because I don't want people going home after a lesson thinking, oh, it's so easy, all I have to do, and then they want a horse and not knowing how to take care of it. So all that is part of the lesson program.
I've always wanted to ask this question, and I've asked several horse people this, and I don't know if I've ever received the answer I want to hear, but where does that horse smell come from? I mean, it's wonderful.
Heaven.
I mean, I know, and they say, well, that's part of it, the leather, part of this, but no, a horse smells kind of like and it's a great smell. I mean, can they bottle that stuff up and people wear it around or what?
We wish.
I mean, what is it?
It's the most soothing.
I mean, really. I mean, you use all your senses for the emotions and to be calm. I think that's part of it, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Part of just the smell of the horses.
I have an autistic boy that comes occasionally, and all he really wants to do is hug and kiss on that horse. He'll bury his head right in the crest of the shoulder and the neck and just sit there and just with his arms wrapped around it. And I'm sure that he's just breathing in that smell, and it's a relaxing to a lot of people. I mean, just being that close to one. Yeah. And, their senses are a little heightened. So, it's just very soothing for some.
I always just didn't know if there was a glandular thing or what
I
it is.
I wish I knew.
But you get around a horse.
Great.
You know what I'm talking about. It's that horse smell. And I'm not talking about the manure and all the other stuff. You just smell like a horse.
Somehow the horse smell doesn't translate as well when it's on me as it does.
Yeah,
the horse. I don't know.
It might be like how people can wear certain types of cologne and perfume. It smells different on this one to that one. But man, those horses, man, there's something about
when I walk in a room and say
them.
I smell like a horse, nobody likes it. I don't understand.
Man, I think horses smell fine, but I think that's a big part of the therapeutic aspect of being around those animals. They're not only are they they're beautiful. You got the long manes. But you got the smells and the scents and everything that go with it.
Well, and when you hit on therapy, now that's something else that we want to talk to her about too, is that you do a lot of massage therapy. And it's not just for equine, it's also, for dogs and the other pets as well. Now, what are the reasons why we might want to look into something like that?
if you have a pet, for instance, that maybe has a lot of anxiety, massage therapy is great for that. Or if you have an elderly pet that has arthritis or even just a recent injury, massage therapy is good for that. I work a lot with equine and canine, but I don't do much with cats. Cats don't seem, they're just a little bit, different when it comes to that. Now, I have worked on an occasional cat, but no, the dogs and the horses, they actually love it. And so I have a client in Hopkinsville that she just has me come once a month just for maintenance on her dog. I mean, there's really nothing really going on with it, but she's like, well, I get a massage, my dog should get one too. So that's kind of fun. But I've been doing it about 15 years, so I have a lot of experience. A lot of times I'll find something wrong that they didn't maybe know was wrong with their horse or their dog. I do acupuncture. It's actually electroacupressure. It's like a TENS machine. I have a therapy light with the different colored lights for like helping heal wounds. I'm getting a laser, but I'm learning how to do that and get certified using a K laser. You'll see a lot of those in the chiropractic offices. I have a TheraPlate at the house that I use as well.
Now, explain to them what a TheraPlate is, because I think this is kind of neat. Most people don't know.
It's a full body vibration plate. They were designed by NASA because the astronauts were coming back from space and losing bone density. And
0G, you do that to you.
Right. And but they found, since they designed it for the astronauts, all the other beneficial uses of it, because it increases blood flow at the cellular level.
And you stand on it, correct?
Yeah, you stand on it. Yeah, I mean, I stand on mine, but it's for my horses, but yeah.
Wow.
And you just lead them up on there, and they just stand there.
A lot of people are like, oh, my horse, it's not going to walk up on there. But I once the horses are up on there, I've not had any that have refused it or not wanted to do it again.
Isn't that something?
In fact, Jack and Whiskey will walk right up there, my two geldings. They'll come in the barn, and if the TheraPlate's setting up, I mean, they want it done.
They're right there. They're almost conditioned to go up there on it, aren't they?
They're used to it.
That's cool. They look forward to that. Don't you look forward to going and getting a massage? That's something that we could all use a little of.
Right.
I don't envision dogs stretching out on like a massage table, especially a cat. I think a cat would be
cats are difficult, but the dogs, you just
stand there and you just massage them and work through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I've heard that's something that can actually help them heal, especially, I also know that you've worked with racehorses as well.
A lot of racehorses, yes.
And that's something that, the injuries, the tendons, the pulled muscles, and that sort of thing. How do you know there's a problem? That's one thing. I mean, how do you look at them and say, oh, man, my dog needs a massage?
I've been trained in Reiki, so, and in a lot of other holistic avenues, but I can feel heat. I mean, I can hold my hand, yay high above and like feel an area that's unusually warmer than it's supposed to be. I find bumps and clogged muscles.
Scar tissue, different types of things.
Yeah, just different types of things with my fingers. My fingers are trained to find that type of thing. A lot of times maybe the owner doesn't even realize that, what's going on. There's also trigger points for things like ulcers, like if you use acupuncture. I have a way of checking for that type of stuff.
Well, they used to say something about if you push a certain spot on your hand that you for a headache and things like that, right?
Yes, it's the same.
And that's a big thing.
Oh, it's been around for thousands of years.
And a lot of it stems from Chinese medicine,
doesn't
it?
I was going to say, it's, thousands and thousands of years old, but it works.
Have you heard of the Chinese ticks? Ty's brought that
Asian
into the picture.
Chicks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tennessee.
Asian chick. Ticks.
We're going to
not
cover
chicks.
Asian ticks, not Asian chicks. Asian ticks have invaded Tennessee. I mean, but those of us that we have these little dogs that may be extra anxious. The ones I'm talking about. You see
4th of July.
You see you see the one, the therapy blankets and those kind of things, the little wraps. What are some things that we can do to sort of alleviate those type of things? Because they're just, a lot of the dogs are wired that way. But what are some of the calming factors that we can do?
Have you seen those the thunder coats?
Yeah, that's
those are wonderful.
Is that probably the best thing?
Yeah.
That
now,
you've
what
seen?
are those for those of us that don't know?
It squeezes. It gives the dog a hug.
It's like a comfort.
It's a compression, like a little compression suit for them. but it really works. I happened to be in Indianapolis a couple years ago, and my girlfriend had just gotten a dog, and it was thundering and storming out. And I had my dog there, and it doesn't bother him. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's going to thunder, Big Booty Judy's going to be, that's what she calls her dog, is going to be upset. And
there's a reason why I had her come on today.
I know we've talked about Asian ticks and Big Booty Judy. Oh my goodness!
And anyway,
what a show!
She just, she was she was like freaking out.
Right.
But she didn't have a thundercoat. But I said, you have an ace bandage, and she did. So I took and wrapped the dog.
There's a thought.
Around the chest and around the girth area with the ace bandage to give it that feeling of the thundercoat or the thunder shirt, I guess they call it.
Because they need that.
They
that
need
hug,
that,
don't
yes. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how quickly this worked."
Well, and now talk about when you say that. We're not talking about really, 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 really tight. It's kind of like if you, as a mom, when you put the kid in the burrito is what I call it. What do you call it? There's a name for that though. When the baby first comes
like
home,
a papoose thing, kind of thing.
You wrap them like a little burrito in the blanket, and it makes them feel like they're being hugged and held a little tighter by mom.
Probably similar, isn't it?
And is that a similar scenario? We don't want to cut off the blood flow or anything.
Like you're saying, like a newborn baby, you put them in the swaddle.
Swaddle.
It's not a burrito, is it?
It's a swaddle.
Or a papoose. And then some of these, I think these blankets I've seen, they have a place for aromatherapy too.
Oh, aromatherapy, yes.
Yeah, you can put a little bit of essential
I
oil or something like that.
I use a lot of aromatherapy in my therapy work with the animals. A lot of it.
Now, what kind of, when you say aromatherapy, now is that similar to of course with humans it's lavender that I've always heard and certain things like that. So is it different? I mean, do they?
It's Alpo for dogs.
Well, I started to say, is it bacon? Well, it'd be bacon for me.
No,
but I mean, But
you can use lavender, camille. I use a lot of peppermint. Peppermint, like if you have an animal that's got an upset stomach, peppermint's wonderful. Or even a headache. Peppermint helps with headaches.
What about herbs? I mean, are herbs good for dogs? Some of these, I know you're talking about oils here, but I mean, are there certain herbs?
Yeah, but there's also certain ones you have to stay away from, like tea tree oil's not good for a dog.
So in other words, if you don't know what you're giving them and you
don't
understand,
that's a good thought.
If you don't know, just don't.
Or everybody Googles everything now, but still.
Or they can give you a call, right? I mean, you'll help them all you can.
Right.
And don't, what's the phone number and I guarantee you, if there's something that we're talking about today that you don't understand, she will be more than happy to give you any of the information and dates and times, because I know that we flew through this.
But this is good stuff because, there are alternatives to, standard treatments, especially for our pets. And it's nice to have another avenue to go down. When you say, I've tried everything.
Well, you don't have to give up. It doesn't mean that Peaches has to go. I mean, maybe she just needs to come see Carrie, and maybe she needs to have a compression shirt or something, right?
Right.
And, I mean, that can make the difference in somebody showing back up at the shelter or somebody being able to stay at home.
And I'm stuck with Harry the hermit crab just hanging out in the tank.
4th of July is coming up, so everybody needs to start thinking about, all the fire. Because we were out with the animals yesterday, and a neighbor let off a big boom. Did you hear that?
I did. She's my neighbor, by the way.
A big, huge boom. I mean, the ground shook.
Right.
Luckily, all my horses are used to that kind of thing, but a lot of people's horses are not used to that. It upsets them. They may start running fences. I mean, this time of year, just be mindful of who your neighbors are with the fireworks. If they have large animals like cows and horses, that that's going to bother.
Well,
even the dogs.
Even hay, it's hay season. So I mean, if you're shooting off bottle rockets,
on fire again.
And if you're shooting bottle rockets and next door, they've got hay stacked up, you need to think about that. And the ones that scare me is the ones that you put the little candle in them and they float. The lanterns.
The lanterns.
Yes. And there was a lot of those.
Fly down.
Yeah, my kids wanted to set those out last year, and it scared me to death because I thought, well, I don't know where it's going to land.
No, and people have hay fields down now, and their crops in. I mean, just be mindful. I mean, those things are beautiful to watch, and they're fun to do, but just be mindful who your neighbors are, and if they have pets. I mean, we all want to have fun, but I know our neighbors don't want their pet running off and running in the street and getting hit or or something.
Right.
Because you do see a spike in those kind of
You
incidences.
do, and you see a spike in the shelter as far as
Yes.
strays this time of year because pets have run off. So,
Well, let's go over it real quick now. When we talk about the dogs, you were talking about make sure that you watch their feet during the summer
we
because of the
got
pavement.
totally off track.
Well, no, I was going to go over
Okay.
everything real quick because I don't want you to get out of here before they realize everything that you do. I mean, you do, we need to make sure that we watch their feet. We need to make sure that we watch their skin and that sort of thing. We're watching for lumps and bumps and maybe if they limp or they are a little grouchier. I mean, those sorts of things.
Yeah, that's another
Lethargic.
thing. Yeah, lethargic. Watch for heat stroke. Everybody kind of needs to know what their pet's baseline vitals are. That's a good thing. I mean, we don't think about that. We watch our own. We know, what our normal blood pressure should be and heart rate. We need to watch that in our pets too, because with the weather getting warmer, if they're starting to have heat stroke, their blood pressure is going to spike. Their heart rate's going to spike. They're going to be lethargic. They're probably going to be grumpy. We just need to watch for that kind of thing.
And now, if we get to the point where we're thinking, you know what, I think I want to try this out because, this is something that I would like to try. Because, I mean, we're pretty close to our family and our fur babies that live inside that family. And a lot of us say, you know what, I'd really like to try that. How do they get a hold of you and talk to you about what they need?
I have two Facebook pages. One is Morning View Farms for the horses and the riding lessons. And also In Touch is my therapy page where I do animal massage therapy, Reiki, massage oils, multiple holistic types of therapy for the animals.
Now, is that them coming to you, you coming to them, both ways, whatever?
Both ways.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and let's make sure that, like 4th of July and that sort of thing. They say, well, I need to come over and see you. We need to get ready for 4th of July and maybe do a little therapy sessions ahead of time. And how far ahead do they need to book?
I am booked through the rest of this week. After that, it's just kind of hit and miss on as far as...
So they could get in. I just thought, well, if it's going to be months and months, they need to go ahead and...
Prep Scruffy.
That's right.
For the potential fireworks.
I don't. Well,
got to prep him.
Well, and I get a little nervous.
Well, I mean, it can be, and there are, we have veterans with post-traumatic
PTSD,
stress.
yes.
That
do animals get PTSD?
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Do they really?
They certainly do.
And now, is that something that massage helps as well?
Yes, it does.
So
I have seen it. I mean, I've witnessed a lot of cases where it has really helped, especially too in high-strung horses and high-strung dogs. When it's just they're anxious about something. You'll see a lot of them that are anxious about their human mommy and daddy leaving for work even.
And that's a form of PTSD in a way.
Yes.
I mean, that's a stressful situation.
And that brought me back to a lot of the different little breeds of dogs. I have a couple, and it's stressful when we leave,
Right.
or got one that just doesn't, want us to leave the house. And we have tried the blanket. It seems to be a little bit better,
right?
But they just have anxiety when people leave.
I had the most grouchy cat in the world, so he's like, yeah, get out. Whatever. Get off the recliner so I can sit down.
Yeah, but the most important thing this summer, guys, is just watch for signs of heat stroke. Let's try to avoid it. Lots of shade, lots of fresh, clean water. You can even mist your pets, like the horses. They love to be misted. I'll bring the horses in during the day, put them under a fan, and then turn them out during cooler hours, in the afternoon after 2 or later, depending on if there's a nice breeze coming through. You can even put a fan on your dogs if like I have that great big dog, she gets hot easily.
Well, and I will tell you, if you're ever thinking about going out and riding or thinking about maybe your kids or maybe you have somebody in your life, that's a great place to go. She's got some of the fattest, sassiest, prettiest horses you ever want to meet. And they are the sweetest things and just want to be loved on and rubbed on and looked at and talked to. I mean, they're amazing. And she's got a couple of them that just have huge personalities. And you even have a Mustang out there now, right?
3.
Wow. and babies to look at and everything. So give us your phone number one last time so they'll know how to get a hold of you.
270-963-8351.
Well, thank you, Chick, for coming in. I appreciate it. This is Carrie Janes, Morning View
Thanks,
Farms,
Carrie.
and she's a good friend of ours, and we sure appreciate you coming in. So if anybody's got any questions, give her a call and let her know. It is 8:57, and of course, today's weather should be nice and mild. You talk about a good day to be out with the dogs and the cats and the horses, and
it's going to feel great.
It really will.
It really is. Great day to be outside.
If you've got a chance to be outside today is the day to take advantage of the sunshine. Of course, lots of things going on in the area and tons of ways that you can take the family out. That's going to be coming up here in just a few seconds on Community Calendar, so we're going to get you in the know about where to go. And, of course, Audrey Lamb is going to be up here in just a little bit with a complete look at the news and the forecast. And Todd Griffin will be on with sports, so we're going to keep you in the know when you're on the go. 858, 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by the Joshua Tree.
For a delicious meal, try Kay's Kitchen in Princeton. They have great home cooking, just like Mom and Grandma used. Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 5:30 to 11. Kay's Kitchen, 501 North Jefferson Street, Princeton, 1 block from the courthouse.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Raider Auction Company.
Did you know you could be eligible for a rebate when you install a new propane water heater, a new propane range or cooktop, or a propane clothes dryer? You can even get a rebate for installing or replacing a water heater or your primary heating system. This great opportunity is made possible by the Kentucky Propane Education and Research Council, available to Kentucky residents only. There are specific guidelines and requirements, and funds are dispersed on a first-come, first-served basis. Contact Fortner Gas Princeton for details. 270-365-5545.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The House votes today on